Hey, what's going on, everybody? Talking about the NFL today. Looked at the scores, looked at a couple highlights, looked at a couple games. So we're gonna get into the NFL. Who you think? You think the Eagles? Let me know in the comments. Do you think the Eagles are still the best team in the NFL right now? Eagles and 49ers. I know they're about to play the Cowboys, but I don't know if I want to stay up late to watch that game. Probably be in bed by the time that game over with. Um, we're gonna go through some of these scores, some games that I was able to pick up. And I thought the Bills was still a good team, but they lost to the Jaguars. What do you think about that, guys? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. I watched the highlights, and this is the time where you kind of get in the season where you kind of start separating. People start pulling away the better teams. You start seeing the good, better, and great teams. A lot of times, injuries. People are kind of hurt, body sore a little bit. Whatever talent that you have really get magnified even more. So let's say if you're a speed guy and you can stay healthy, your speed will stand out even more because somebody that's okay with good coverage, but if their body's not up to par, you might catch them on that day when their body just not up to par, kind of sore. And it seemed like that's kind of what Tyreek Hill was doing, man. Dude is so fast that if you're not ready to guard him, he's gonna burn you on defense. I mean, yeah, he's gonna burn your defense. You can have double coverage. I think I've seen triple coverage. Corner, safety over the top, and somebody roaming in the middle of the field trying to cover me. Still find a way to split that and get the ball. So, but Jaguars beat the Bills 25-20. Looking at the highlights of that game, it seemed like one of those games. It was kind of long and drawn out. Nobody really was. It was like the battle of the trenches almost. A lot of sacks, a lot of pressure. It was kind of one of those wheel games, and the Jaguars wheeled that game out, and that's why they 3-2, and the Bills are now 3-2. But shout out to the Jaguars from winning that game though, because a lot of people picked Buffalo. I want to say I picked Buffalo last night. But shout out to Jaguars, man. They stepping up. They starting to come up. Let's look at their stats real quick. Pull that up. When you look at the stats, you see Trevor Lawrence. He had a really good game. Played a really efficient game. He threw some really good passes from the highlight. 315 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. And the running game really showed. Etienne, I think I saying Etienne, Etienne. He was really running the rock. When Colorado get a running back like that, they're gonna be way better. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to stop Colorado if they still got Shador Sanders at quarterback. He needs a power running back. Trevor Lawrence ran for a little bit, but yeah, that running game really put them over the top. Look at the Bills. It seemed like the Bills was always trying to catch up. They could never get the momentum going. Even if they did, they get sacked. And sometimes a team like the Jaguars that don't have nothing to lose, you got to really beat them early and stump them out, and don't give them a chance to come back. And because they was playing around the Bills, it's like they never could really get an offensive rhythm going. I'm not sure that was offensive line, is what it seemed like, or just good defensive line play by the Jaguars. I mean, the Jaguars was getting to Jared Allen. Them. He was really Josh Allen. I'm sorry, getting to Josh Allen, and they was really kind of pressuring him because he had one interception. You really don't want no turnovers against a team like that. But he had two touchdowns. And I think rushing, they had a touchdown as well. I think it was about Josh Allen. He ran out, got out the pocket and scored a touchdown. But what I'm really seeing too is how teams are in the red zone. If you're not good in the red zone, it's gonna be hard to score in the NFL. And you're starting to see that. You see teams get in the red zone and they can't. It's hard to throw the ball on a short field. You really got to have a good quarterback to do that. And as we saw, a couple of quarterbacks weren't able to punch it in when they got in the red zone, and really hard. Um, I seen the Pittsburgh and Steelers game. That was a knockout, drag out game, pretty tough. Pickett, he actually played pretty solid for what he's worth. He actually played pretty solid in what he usually play, but the Ravens gave them that game. There's no reason why the Ravens shouldn't have won that game, but um, they got Pickens. Is it George Pickens or Jerome Pickens for Steelers, their receiver? Man, he balled out, man. Shout out to him, man. He balled out that game. Um, I think that he really stepped up and really was torching the Ravens defense. I don't think they had an answer for him. It's like they had him on the left side of the field, the right side of the field, and they didn't really have an answer for him. But shout out to the Steelers. Looking at the highlights for the Cowboys and 49ers, the scoreboard.
How'd you spend the off season?
The off season?
The 49ers already scored. It's 7-0 49ers so far. I don't think the Cowboys is going to win that game unless Dak have the game of his life. We'll see. But Dak is going to have the game of his life for them to win that game. And that's just, it is what it is. So, let's look at this. The Steelers game, because it actually seemed like a good game. I was able to watch it, but I was doing some stuff, so I wasn't able to watch it. Looking at the highlights, though, it looked really good, like a really good defensive game until the receiver started to break out. What was his name for the Steelers? Let's look at it real quick. George Pickens, I think it's from Georgia. 6 receptions, 130 yards, 1 TD. And, man, it don't do justice. He was torching the Ravens defense. He really was. And shout out to Kenny Pickett, man, for throwing the ball. No turnovers. 18 for 32, close to 50%, somewhere in there. Maybe a little bit over 50. 224 yards. You can't beat that. He managed the game. He threw the passes that he needed to throw, and they won the game. Yeah, George Pickens is the one. He really took over that game. When you look at Ravens, it seemed like he really couldn't. They was really having a lot. They rushed the ball. I mean, TJ Watt was having his way with that offensive line. That whole Steelers front end was having their way with that line. So that was a tough game for Lamar Jackson, man. He definitely won Action Jackson that game. He was playing pretty well, but that pressure, man, really got to him toward the end of the game. They was finding ways to get past the offensive line. I think they're gonna have to make some adjustments in their passing game. The Ravens. I don't know if they need to run something that's catered to how he throw the ball. A little bit more crossing routes, maybe. I don't know. It seems like the offense is kind of stagnant, easy to read for the defense. And it seemed like they really just couldn't get their flow like they wanted. Because their receptions were spread out. He had a lot of drop balls too. The Ravens. A couple of receivers dropped some balls that would have had them in a great position to score. And you got to catch that ball. I think it was between Flowers and Andrews. You got to catch those balls. I didn't see Beckham a whole lot. He only had 2 receptions for 13 yards. But yeah, you got to catch the ball, man. He'll make your quarterback look bad when you drop the ball. So, Miami and the Giants. I want to talk about that. Miami and the Giants. Miami torched the Giants, even though they had a turnover tour, but they was already so far ahead that it really didn't matter. He tried to throw the ball best he could. I think he ended up putting in Tyrod Taylor for Daniel Jones. I don't know if he got injured or they just took him out. But they really just couldn't get the ball up. They really didn't get past the 50-yard line. I don't even think they got in the red zone, the Giants. So that was an easy game for the Dolphins. When you don't have a lot of skilled players on offense in the NFL, it's going to be hard for you to score. You got to have either a quarterback that can dish the ball out, or you got to have a lot of skilled players on your team. Miami got skilled players everywhere. Um, Devontae, oh, how you say that guy name? Good night. That dude is fast, man. He may be just as fast as Tyreek Hill. Their running back, Achante, I think that's his name. He may be just as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he balled out for the Dolphins. I mean, that dude had a run where he broke out and ran the whole field. It seemed like, but yeah, he threw 2 interceptions. But they were so good that it didn't even matter. But shout out to the Dolphins for taking care of business against the Giants. They went and beat them at home. You got to win your games at home, get that home field advantage. It'd be interesting to see if them and the Chiefs can meet each other in the playoffs. That'll be awesome. Also, when you think about the Titans and the Colts, for some reason I don't know why they wasn't running the ball with Derrick Henry. I don't know if the Colts got a good run defense, but they was trying to pass the ball like they was almost running a spread offense. But you got Derrick Henry. I don't know why they weren't running the ball. I don't know if he hurt, but they just didn't want to do it. For some reason, though, they didn't run the ball. And when they tried to run the ball with him, he got stuffed because they were trying to run out of shotgun instead of running out of I formation or something where he can get a head of steam and punch it in the red zone. But I don't know. But I don't know. It seemed like their offense just it's like they could do a lot of stuff in the field, but in the red zone they didn't convert. And that's gonna be the story of the NFL. I'm telling you guys, being able to convert in the red zone. If you can convert in the red zone, I think you'll be more successful. But it seems like a lot of teams are not converting in their red zone. And that's where the money made in the red zone. You got to be able to pass in the red zone. When I watched the Giants game, Tua threw a pick in the red zone. I don't even know who he was throwing it to. I want to show the video, but they're going to ding me on YouTube, though, so I don't want to show it. But, yeah, he threw a pick in the red zone. It was too much coverage on that side. And the cornerback took it like 103 yards. He took it from the end zone to end zone. So when you get in that red zone, you got to be able to punch it in. And the windows, they open so fast and they close so fast that you can't hesitate on where you want to go with the ball, or there could be an interception, as you saw in the Miami game. So, a lot of teams taking care of business. The Eagles, 5-0, beat the Rams 23-14. Who else is on top? The Chiefs took care of business, beat the Vikings. They 4-1 now. 49ers right now up on the Cowboys, 7-0. Like I say, I just don't think that Dak is gonna have to have the game of his life for them to win this game. It's just end the story. And as we can see, um, like their offense is kind of pedestrian right now. They must just got the ball. Brock Purdy has scored a touchdown. One TD, got a pass TD already. They got to stop Christian McCaffrey. And we'll see. Dallas has the ball now, but San Francisco has scored. So let me know in the comments what you think about the NFL this season. I like where it's going. I like the competition. And let's say the Bengals took care of business. They up. beat the Cardinals 34-20. Sound like the Cardinals want to move on from Kyler Murray, what they're saying in the rumor mill. And then also, moving on from the NFL, we're going to the NBA now. Watched a couple of preseason games. And let me know in the comments what you think about Chris Paul playing with the Warriors. He looked good in the preseason. Seems like he gonna have that when they're not shooting threes, they can count on him to get the mid range and run the offense with the younger guys. But they played against the Lakers today, and it seemed like they're gonna have a good season, another good season this year. And Chris Paul is probably gonna take a lot of pressure off Steph Curry because Steph Curry can now catch the ball, run out screens, and catch the ball and shoot. And now you got those guys on the wing. Now you got Chris Paul, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson on the wing. And then if you try to stop them, then he can get you on the mid range. So I think that's gonna be a good combination. And I think that that's gonna be a good game. Let me shut this tab real quick. See if I can get it. See if they're gonna ding me for it.
Play together, watch Chris Paul.
Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. But I think that it's gonna be a good season for the Warriors. And I think that it's gonna be a tough. The Western Conference is gonna be tough this year. It's gonna be a tough conference. I don't know about the East. Maybe pretty competitive. Maybe about 3 or 4 teams. I think the Heat are not gonna be what they used to be last year. They're gonna have to really get some more talent in there. I think if Dame has a great attitude, it's gonna be hard to beat the Bucks because of the way that they have a wing player and a post player now. It's gonna be hard. Celtics are gonna be hard to beat. That's why some of this. And LeBron not even playing. But we're finna go through this game. As you can see, Chris Paul, they see that mid range. That's his bread and butter right now. Can't really stop that. And it's a preseason game, so I'm not gonna put too much stock into a preseason game. But as you can see, Chris Paul, he's gonna run the offense. Look at that. See, you ain't gonna be able to stop that now. Now he's not dribbling the ball where he can key in on him. He can run off screens. Klay can run off screens. I think they're gonna try to make a run this year. Let me get off of there before they ding me. They're gonna try to make a run, a championship run off of that this year. And pretty much we'll see. Time will tell. Those look pretty good, even though they didn't have their whole team out there. But DeMar DeRozan looked pretty good, like he ready for the season. So let me know what you think about the NBA coming up this year. Who you think gonna win the championship this year? Who you think gonna be the best teams this year? How you feel about the Suns? Do you think the Suns got enough, or think they don't have enough depth on their team because they got too much money they spending on the 3 players that they got: Booker, Durant, and Beal? I like the team though. It's gonna be like an AAU team. They're gonna shoot you out the gym, and ain't gonna be nothing you can do about it. But I think when they own, they're gonna be hot. But when they cold, they're gonna be cold. But they're probably gonna be more hot than they are cold though. Because Kevin Durant, when he's healthy, it's gonna be hard to really beat him because he could shoot from anywhere on the floor. You can't block his shot. And even when the threes are not falling, he'll beat you with mid range, or he'll take it in the lane and dunk on you. So, but let me know what you think about the Suns. So, with that being said, I just want to stop by for a few minutes, talk about the NFL, talk about the NBA preseason, some games I saw. Let me know what you think in the comments about the NFL, NBA coming up. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Go to our channel, the Thinking Game Podcast. We definitely got that going. See if I can pull the channel up real quick, show you. Make sure to go to our channel, subscribe. We have 148 now, growing a little bit at a time. Yep, we at 148 now. CTM TV on YouTube. And then also have some Instagram. CTM TV, Little Rock. Make sure to go check that out. Subscribe. We're at 96. We're trying to get to 1K. That's our goal, is to get to 1K. Help us get to 1K. And we got a lot of our podcast stuff on there. The Thinking Game Podcast is what we talk about topics for regular people. We make content for regular people. We're regular working people, everyday working people. And we talk about content to regular people. We talk about growing up in the inner city. How do you overcome that? How do you have the mindset to overthink, outgrow where you're at, and become a better individual? How do you plan your career? How do you plan your education around your skill set? How do you do those things? So with that being said, like, share, subscribe. If you like the content, let us know. Anything you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. We'll definitely talk about it on the podcast or talk about it on sports show. I know some people was saying that we had a thing on the podcast. I said, would you pick LT or Ray Lewis? I'm gonna pick Ray Lewis. That's what I'm gonna roll with. Got a lot of trolling about people saying that LT was better, but I think Ray Lewis was better. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna roll with that. And with that being said, I'm signing out. Thanks for watching CTM Sports.